Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. My name is Jill and I'm here to offer you today a 1-hour joyful flow practice courtesy of Sadhana Yoga and Sound. Before we begin, I will just go over whatever props you may have around the house. If you happen to have blocks or a cushion for meditation, blankets, bolsters, pillows, anything that you can gather up that will help support you with your practice today, please do so. And we'll begin in a nice comfortable seated position. So cross-legged position if you can, something underneath the hips to elevate the hips. And we'll just begin to draw the eyes closed, taking some time here to arrive on our mats. Palms can face down for that nice grounding energy. Or if you're looking to receive a little bit more energy here today, you can flip the palms up and the backs of the hands can rest on the thighs. Taking some time here to be the observers of our minds and our bodies. How do we feel today, mentally, emotionally, and physically? What are the quality of the thoughts? Are they negative? Is there any criticism going on in there? Are we able to spin any of that around and make it positive and joyful? The body experiencing any aches or pains or any limitations due to injury? Are we able to nurture those areas and move mindfully today? Allowing the ego to stay at the door and practicing for ourselves and only for ourselves, not competing with any kind of idea or image of what yoga should be, what it should look like, and just allowing that self-exploration, allowing you to move with ease and grace, allowing the breath to be unhurried and smooth, and finding your way into shapes where you're able to explore and find a new depth within your body and your mind. Those of you that are familiar with my classes, my Saturday classes, we most often begin with an intention, setting an intention for our class. So today we're going to focus on simple joys, looking for those simple joys that are already present in our lives that we may sometimes overlook because we're so busy or stressed or overtired. Just slowing everything down and looking around our current life and finding those simple joys, focusing on what we do have and not being concerned with what we do not have. And allowing the intention to guide you and bring you stability and grounding, especially when you're in more challenging poses. Easy to give up or perhaps fall out of a shape. See if that intention will allow you to stay and breathe your way through for just a little bit longer. When you're ready, we'll draw palms to heart center. We'll bow head down towards the heart and we'll begin with a couple of deep cleansing breaths here. Let's start by opening the mouth and sighing out a nice big exhale. Inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Inhaling again. Big release. This time we'll inhale to Om. Om. Release the hands back down into your lap. If you need to readjust the way you're sitting, you can simply take the hands back behind you, keeping the knees bent and placing Feet down as wide as the mat. You can take a couple of windshield wipers here. Just loosening up the hips, maybe sliding off your prop if it's not comfortable, if there was anything underneath your sit bones. And then we'll come back to our cross-legged position, switching legs here. So opposite leg on top. Rooting back down into the earth, we'll draw the crown up. Nice long spine here. Then we'll begin to float the hands overhead. We'll join the palms. And we'll just begin to draw the arms back in line with the ears, if possible. If there's any existing shoulder injuries and this is too much sensation in the shoulders, you can draw the arms forward a little bit more. But we want to actively push into the hands to engage the arms. And then from here, if this is already quite intense for you, or if this is just where you need to be, stay here. Or you can add on by crossing the arms at the wrists, and then we'll flip the palms towards the inside and we'll join the palms like this. So pushing into the palms, wrists are crossed. Again, we will draw arms back in line with the ears if possible. And then from here, we'll slowly begin to turn the head side to side, left to right. Taking our time, we're not in any rush, mindful movements here. Noticing what we notice, each side of the neck. If it feels good to linger and stay and hold on one side, please do so. Checking in, drawing that crown up. Maybe draw the navel towards spine. And when you find yourself back, drawn through center, we can release the hands and we'll slowly begin to twist to the right. So left hand can rest somewhere on right thigh, right hand back behind you on the earth. And this time we'll take the head towards the left. So we're going to twist the head towards the left. And we're going to gaze down gently at that left shoulder. So you should feel some sensation on the left side of the neck. And we're going to hold here and send some nourishing breaths into that side. Drawing eyes closed again if they're not already, allowing ourselves to be aware of what the body is telling us. What is the body feeling here? And only going as deeply as you need and staying and breathing in your comfortable edge. So if you need to back off and draw the head a little bit more towards the front edge of the mat, please do so. If you're able to deepen and maybe twist a little bit more to the left and gaze down at that left shoulder, you can go there. Last couple breaths on this side. And then when you feel ready, you can mindfully begin to untwist. We'll draw everything back up through center. We'll float arms back up into the sky, palms face forward, thumbs point back behind us. And we'll just lengthen here. And then we'll exhale and we'll just float the arms down and we'll just kind of rotate side to side here. Just let the arms flail. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. If it feels silly, then you're doing it right. But just let the arms float side to side just to release all that. And then we'll meet back at center. We'll draw the arms back up into the sky. Option again to draw palms together, slight bend in the elbows. If this is where you were most comfortable the first time around, you'll stay here. For those of you that wish to deepen, we'll cross the opposite wrist over. So opposite wrist in front. We'll join the palms inwards and then draw the arms back in a line with the ears. So one side will feel a little bit more awkward than the other. This is definitely my more awkward side. And then we'll push into the palms, engaging arms. And again, we'll begin to softly float the head side to side. So left to right here, maybe holding and exploring on one side. That side feels a little bit tighter. Drawing crown up, draw belly to spine. Nice, smooth, easy breath here. If you've lost the connection with your breath, just tuning back in. And then we'll draw back through center with the head, and on our exhale, we'll slowly begin to release arms as we twist to the left. So right hand on left thigh, left hand back behind you. And this time we'll take the head over to the right, and we'll gaze down at the right shoulder. We can close the eyes again, helping us to block out any visual distractions, allowing us to focus on what the body is feeling. Maybe deepening and taking the head a little bit further to the right, or maybe backing off and drawing the head back through center a little bit. So finding a space where you can breathe, but you still feel some sensation. And then we'll begin to release all that, draw back through center. Again, we'll just gently swing the arms side to side. Just letting them flop about, release all that. Coming back through center, we'll take the arms out wide. We'll open through the collarbones, nice tall seat. And we'll begin our shoulder rolls, drawing up, back, and down. And then drawing forward when you're ready. Then drawing arms out in front of you, we'll interlace fingers and we'll begin to roll the wrists. And then if you're wanting to challenge yourself, you can try and do the opposite way. It feels quite awkward, but see if you can do it. Have fun with it. Be able to laugh at yourself. Beautiful. And we'll release the hands down by our sides, and then we'll bring them out in front of us, and we'll remove any prop that was underneath the sit bones. And we're going to come into a child's pose, a wide-legged child's pose. So knees are wide, big toes to touch. We'll reach the hands out in front, and we'll begin to melt the heart down to the earth, or perhaps you bring the earth closer to you and you place that block or pillow, whatever you have, underneath the forehead. Let the heart grow heavy. Spread the fingertips wide. If you're looking to make this a little bit more active, you can lift the forearms off the earth and just claw at the mat with the palms. On your next inhale, you can begin to lift the head, lift the heart. Walk the hands back towards you just a little bit. Place your prop aside if you were using one. And then we'll lift the hips up so they're stacked over the knees. And we'll just begin to bend at the elbows and sway side to side here. So just inviting a little bit more movement into the body. That doesn't feel comfortable with the knees wide, you can bring the knees together and just simply wag your tail side to side here. Coming back through a tabletop, we'll tuck our toes, we'll walk our hands a little bit further away from our bodies, and we'll begin to lift the hips up into the sky for the first down dog. And we'll begin to pedal it out, lowering one heel, then the other.
Allowing the body to go wherever it wants to go here. Maybe you feel good rising high up onto those toes or bending deeply into the knees, awakening the backs of the legs. And if Ujjayi breath is something that's in your practice, you can start to cultivate that now. If you're unsure of what that is, with lips closed, there's going to be a slight constriction in the throat. Ocean sounding breath, or as if you're fogging up a mirror. And on your next inhale, we'll come back through stillness in our down dog. We'll send those hips up high as we melt the belly towards the thighs, and we'll slowly start to ripple forward into plank. Gazing in between the hands, sending the hips up and back. Just floating here, finding a little flow between plank and down dog. You can link this to your breath, going at your own pace. And reminder to always take rest when you need to take rest. Modify where you need to modify. And we'll take one more round here. Meaning back and down dog. And then we'll float the right leg up into the sky. We'll stack the hips. We'll see if we can keep the chest parallel to the earth. We'll gaze underneath the left arm. So right hip is stacked, gazing underneath left arm, seeing if you can see that left foot. And we'll take some circles with the right foot. Beautiful. And we'll take some bigger circles with the right hip. And then we'll release back through three-legged dog, lift the right leg high, ripple forward, bend that knee into chest, and place that right foot down in between the hands at the top of the mat. Beautiful. Maybe taking blocks here if you need blocks. Bring the earth closer to you whenever you need. Maybe taking hands off the earth of the blocks and just hovering, hanging out in whichever version of runner's lunge works best for you. And then we'll step forward. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale all the way up to stand. Joining palms, drawing them down through heart center. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, take the arms out wide for a reverse swan dive as you fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Place the hands, step back to down dog. Float the left leg up into the sky. We'll stack that hip. We'll peek under the right arm and we'll start to circle the left ankle. And then circling left hip, changing directions. Nice smooth breath here. Are you holding your breath? Are you finding the little joys even in the struggles? Beautiful. We'll unstack, we'll come back through three-legged dog. So left leg is high. We'll begin to ripple forward as we bend that left knee. We'll hug it into chest and we'll plant that left foot down in between the hands at the top of the mat. Again, maybe you have one block on either side for your runner's lunge. Maybe you just hang out here with hands rooted in the earth. Maybe you hover hands, explore how that feels. You're high on your back toes. Beautiful. Wherever you need to be, you be. And then we'll step forward, placing hands down. Step forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Joining palms, drawing them down through heart center. Hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands and step back to plank this time. We're going to tuck the elbows and we're going to lower down completely onto our bellies. Place any props aside. And we'll place palms down on the earth. Forearms are placed on the earth, shoulders stacked over elbows, coming into Sphinx pose. Draw the eyes closed for a couple of breaths. Beautiful. We'll begin to push into the forearms. We'll walk the knees forward. We'll send the hips back to the heels, coming into a brief child's pose. Knees can be together or apart here. Give yourself space where you need space. Being kind and courteous to yourself. Checking in with the quality of the thoughts. Are they negative? Are they positive? Finding those simple joys in day-to-day life. On your next inhale, begin to lift up, tuck the toes, come back up into a downward facing dog. From here, we'll float the right leg up into the sky. We'll bend that right knee and we'll place that right foot down in between the hands at the top of the mat. And then we'll place the back heel down. Inhaling, hands up for warrior one. If there's any painful sensations or shoulder injuries, you can draw the arms back behind the body. Binding the arms. This will take any pressure off the shoulders. Draw that right hip back. Front knee is generally stacked over that front ankle. Beautiful. So wherever you are, we'll take a little bit of a back bend here. Beautiful. And then we'll come high onto those back toes. So transitioning into a high lunge. Beautiful. Exhale the hands down to the earth. Left hand will rest down on the earth to the inside of that right foot and we'll float the right hand back up. So twisted high lunge. Twisted high lunge. Maybe the gaze goes up to that top hand. Maybe you gaze down at the earth depending on how your neck feels. Beautiful. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. Allowing the breath to guide you. Allowing the breath to calm you. Knowing where your edge is, knowing when to back off. Your next exhale, you can float that hand back down towards the earth. So you have one hand on either side of that front foot. We're gonna step that back foot up just a little bit, so it's about halfway along the mat. We're gonna straighten the front leg, and we're gonna come into pyramid pose. So a little micro bend in the front knee. Gazing down at the earth, we'll place the left hand down on the mat, and again, we will twist. We'll take a revolved triangle here. So option again to have a block to the inside of that right foot, floating right hand up, breathing smoothly here. And then on your next exhale, you can float that hand back down to the earth, place your prop aside, step forward, meeting in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Join the palms, draw them down through heart center as you hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog. Option to take rest in child's pose, option to flow through. If you're gonna flow through, we'll ripple forward into plank. We'll tuck those elbows in, we'll lower down a little bit, we'll roll over the toes and we'll inhale up to cobra up dog. And then taking it back into our downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let it all go. Inhaling again. Big exhale. From here, floating the left leg up into the sky. Three-legged dog will begin to ripple forward. Bend that left knee. Place that left foot in between the hands, the top of the mat. Place the back heel down. Float hands up for warrior one. Drawing that left hip back and taking the option of lowering the arms and binding arms behind the back body if the shoulders are sensitive here. Maybe you take a little back bend, maybe you don't. Drawing that left hip back, Left knee stacked over left ankle. And from wherever you are, we'll come high onto the ball of the back foot, so transitioning into a high lunge. And then we'll exhale, hands down to the earth. Leaving right hand on the earth, we'll slowly twist open and draw the left arm up towards the sky. So you're twisting towards the bent leg, gazing up towards that left hand, or maybe down at the earth if it's more comfortable in your neck. Last couple breaths here. Keep that back leg lifted, high on the back toes. Floating that left hand down slowly when you're ready. Hands are to the earth or using blocks. And then we'll step that back foot up just a little bit, so it's about halfway down the mat. We'll draw that left leg straight, little micro bend in that left knee though, coming into pyramid pose. Either staying here with hands on blocks, or maybe you want to take prayer hands, or maybe you take the right hand down to the earth and you make a revolved triangle, and then you start to float that left hand up into the sky as you actively draw that left hip back. Again, gazing up to the top hand, or maybe down towards the earth. Checking in with our breath. Are we still breathing with ease? If not, making whatever little adjustments you need to make this more accessible for you and allow the breath to flow freely. Floating that hand back down to the earth when you're ready, coming high on the back of the toes and just simply stepping forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching all the way up to the sky, joining palms down through heart center, and releasing hands down by your side for Tadasana Mountain Pose. Inhaling through the nose again. Exhaling, letting it all go. Inhale. Big exhale. Inhale, reaching back up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands, stepping back to your plank. Knees can be up or down here. Lowering down in Chaturanga. Inhaling up to your Cobra Up Dog. Exhale, roll over the toes. Take it back to Down Dog or a Child's Pose. Feel free to flow through again if that feels good. Meeting back in Down Dog when you're ready. We'll look towards the top of the mat. We'll bend our knees and we'll step, hop, or walk, finding our way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And from here, we'll start to heel toe the feet together so the big toes touch. Little bit of space in between the heels. And then inhaling up to our chair. So drawing the sit bones back. Reaching hands out in front. Making sure you can see those front toes. So can you see the toenails? Drawing hands together. And then when you're ready, we will take a twist to the left. So hooking right elbow outside of left thigh and either staying here or picking up the right foot and stepping it back for a twisted high lunge. So lots of options here. Go where the body naturally wants to go. Again, checking in and making sure you're not forcing anything here and you're able to breathe your way through. Maybe you open your wings, maybe you don't. Last couple breaths. Strong on those beautiful wings that are extended. Joining palms back together. If you were in twisted high lunge, you step forward, you'll untwist, and we'll fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And we'll draw the knees and thighs together. We'll inhale, we'll lift back up into our chair. Setting the sit bones back. Joining palms, drawing them down through heart center, and this time we'll twist to the right, hooking left elbow outside of right thigh. Again, maybe you grow strong in that right foot, that right standing leg, and then you pick up the left and you take a big step back for a twisted high lunge. Maybe you open the wings, maybe not, and that's okay. Not judging ourselves, not criticizing ourselves. Finding those simple joys. Floating palms back together when you're ready. Stepping forward if you were in the high lunge. Untwist, float the hands up one more time. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. And draw hands down through heart center. Releasing palms down by your side, meeting in Tadasana Mountain Pose. Draw the eyes closed for a moment. Floating eyes open, hands can draw to hips when you're ready. Growing strong in our right leg, we will pick up the left, we'll bend the left knee. Gaze out in front of you, find that drishti, that point that does not move, that focal point. Maybe the hands go to the left knee. Maybe you stay here. Or we'll begin to cross that left leg over the right, flexing left foot. And we'll begin to draw hands to heart center. We'll send the sit bones back. We'll start to sit into our standing figure four. So lots of options here. You can hang out with the elbows just resting upon that inner shin. You can take it down to the earth. You can take it down to a block if you have a block close by. You can just play around with holding the knee. If you just want to hang out and hold the knee, you can just stay here. Just allowing yourself to wiggle and wobble and explore the standing shape, standing figure four. Maybe lowering the sit bones down a little bit more. If you're really looking for a challenge, we can take the hands to the earth, we can walk them back behind us, and we can come into a toe stand. So coming high on those right toes. Beautiful. Left foot is flexed. Gazing out in front of you. Wherever you are, if you're in the toe stand, you can start to walk the hands back forward, push yourself back up into your standing figure four, embracing the wiggles and wobbles. Beautiful. You can uncross the leg. We'll shake it out. And we'll play around with the other side. So meeting back in Tadasana, palms face forward. Inhale through the nose. Big release as you exhale. One more time, inhale. Big exhale. Growing strong in that left leg, we'll begin to bend right, hugging right knee, interlacing fingers along that right knee, maybe hanging out here, just practicing playing around with balance. Every day will be different, finding that spot out in front of you that does not move, finding your focal point. If you're looking to play and deepen here, we'll start to cross that right leg on top of the left for our standing figure four. Maybe hands come to heart center as we start to draw the sit bones down to the earth. Right foot is flexed. Hanging out here if you need a little bit more space, a little bit more play. Hands can go to blocks or the earth. Or if you want to try that toe stand again, we'll come down to the earth. We'll walk hands behind us and we'll come high onto the left toes. Hanging out here, finding our little joys here even in our toe stand. Smiling, having fun, falling out, trying again, not taking ourselves too seriously. Standing figure 4 or toe stand here. Beautiful. If you're in the toe stand, you'll just walk the hands back forward onto the earth, lift yourself back up, wiggle, wobble, fall out, and then we will release the leg, shake it all out, release the hands. Beautiful. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Float the hands up into the sky. Join the palms and begin to float down into your yogi squat. Option to take blocks or pillows underneath the sit bones. Whatever makes this pose more accessible for you. And we want to have the elbows towards the insides of the knees. You want to gently draw the knees apart as you lift the heart. You want to connect all 4 corners of the feet with the earth. You don't want to be collapsing inwards in the arches. So just gently drawing those knees away. Eyes can flutter closed. If you were working with Ujjayi breath, you can start to release that and come back to normal breathing. Fluttering eyes open. When you're ready, we'll take hands down to the mat. We'll come onto our knees. If you need to have a little extra support underneath the knees, you can fold the mat. You can kneel upon a pillow or a meditation cushion, blanket, and we'll tap out the feet. From here, we will tuck the toes, all 10 toes. We will come to sit on the back of the heels. We'll draw the palms to the back body, just above the sit bones. Fingertips point down. We'll open through the collarbones, draw the elbows towards the midline, and we'll begin to take a slow and controlled back bend. So gazing up towards the sky, engaging the core, opening through the heart space. Allowing the breath to flow smoothly here. If not, we're gonna back off and lift up a little bit. So just playing around with your edge. And then we'll draw back through center. We'll release hands down to the mat out in front of us and we'll tap it out again. We'll go there one more time, thighs together, knees together, all 10 toes are tucked. You may even need to help that pinky toe connect. And this time, if you want to take the full expression of camel, you can come to stand on your knees. And again, the hands can come to the back body, just above the sit bones, fingertips point down. Drawing shoulders back behind you. You can again begin to take that slow and controlled back bend. If full camel is in your practice, you can even release hands down towards your heels. Maybe taking the head back again. Are you able to breathe this full expression of camel in your practice? And you're taking your time to get there and not forcing anything if it is not. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we'll slowly float back up. Untuck the toes, take the hands out in front of you on the mat, tap it out. Good job. Take your hands to one side of the mat. We'll just spin our legs around. Flexing the feet, scooping the flesh away from the sit bones. Palms down by our sides for Dandasana. Draw the eyes closed. Feel what you feel here. Being okay with what we feel here. Non-judgment about what we feel here. Forgiving ourselves. Remembering if we don't have self-love, we really don't have anything. eyes still closed, we'll begin to bend that right knee and we'll hop that right foot over, crossing it over, placing it down on the earth to the outside of that left thigh. Option to stay here, you bend at the left knee and you can tuck that left foot underneath the sit bones. Floating hands up into the sky, lengthening, palms face inwards, thumbs back behind you. Then on your exhale, you'll begin to twist to the right, bending left elbow and hooking it outside of right thigh. Right hand behind you for support, taking the head back if that is available to you in your neck. Slowing it down. Maybe deepening your stretch if it's available, finding length on the inhales as you draw the crown up. Maybe twisting a little bit deeper on the exhale. Releasing the arms, untwisting, drawing back through center, uncrossing legs, placing feet down as wide as the mat, knees are bent, hands behind you for support as you float legs side to side for windshield wipers. Again, if it feels good, you can linger and hold on one side. And then we'll come back to our nice tall seat. Dandasana, legs are long down the mat. Flex those feet, hands down on the earth beside you. Close your eyes. Begin to bend the left knee, draw it into chest, hop that left foot over, place it down towards the outside of your right thigh. Right foot is still flexed and you either stay here or you bend that right knee, you tuck that right foot underneath the sit bones. You float the hands up as you lengthen, and on your exhale, you can slowly start to twist to the left, and maybe you hook right elbow outside of left thigh. Maybe you prefer to hug that front knee. Left hand's behind you for support. Maybe you take the head back towards that left shoulder. Exhaling, release, untwist. Good job. Uncross the legs. This time we'll let the legs go long and we'll just give them a little shake where they are. Nice tall seat. Beautiful. And from here we'll begin to cross the legs, but we'll cross the left leg. Bend the left knee. We want the left shin parallel to the top edge of the mat. And then we'll bend the right knee. And if it's available to you, we're gonna place the outside of the right ankle on top of that left leg. So stacking and setting up for fire log pose. And if you notice you have this big gap here like I do, flex that right foot to protect the knee. But if you have this big gap like I do, reach for your blanket, your pillow, your block, and just support yourself. Fill in that gap with whatever you have to allow the body to just let go here a little bit and be supported. So we're in fire log pose. This can be quite intense. You may feel it in a lot of areas, especially the outer hips. Drawing the eyes closed and allowing yourself to notice what you notice. Calming the mind, bringing the mind back if it's wandering. Allowing ourselves to forgive and let go and creating more space for more love, for more new experiences and for a greater appreciation of our lives.
Last few breaths here. Fluttering the eyes open if they're not already, placing your prop aside if you were using one, hands back behind you, fingertips point backwards, slowly uncrossing the legs and placing soles of feet down as wide as the mat. Floating knees side to side for our windshield wipers. And then setting up for the other side when you're ready. Send the sit bones back a little bit. We'll bend the right knee. We'll bring that right shin parallel to the top edge of the mat. We'll flex that right foot, and then we'll pick up the left leg, flex that left foot, and see if we can place the outside of that left ankle somewhere on that right thigh or knee. Seeing if you can stack here. Again, if you notice a big space like I have, you grab whatever you have to start to fill the space to allow yourself to relax and be supported here, and giving the body and the hips time to open up. Closing the eyes again. Noticing the sensations here on this new side. Allowing the breath to give you the stability and the support you need to stay here and breathe your way through. As long as there's no pain, playing around with this challenging shape. As the body releases and opens up a little bit more, you may or may not need your support underneath that left leg. Not rushing anything here. Last few breaths here on this side. Open softly, opening the eyes as you place your props aside. Taking our time to come out of the shape, place the feet down as wide as the mat again. Release through the hips. Windshield wipers, floating legs, gently side to side. Back through center, sending the hips back, checking in to make sure we're in the middle of our mats. We're going to extend the legs long down the mat. We're going to float hands. We're going to reach, and we're going to slowly and with control, one vertebra at a time, float down onto the back. When you get there, we'll extend everything up into the sky. We'll flex the feet. We'll come into waterfall. If you prefer waterfall with a block or a pillow, just underneath the lower spine, just above the sit bones, you can take that option. If it's too much sensation in the shoulders to reach the hands up, you can lower them down and take them into a T shape, palms facing up. Close the eyes and picture a place of freedom and weightlessness. Beginning to bend that right knee, drawing into chest, interlacing hands along the right shin. We'll lower the left leg down. You need a little bit more space. You can hug that right knee into the right armpit.
releasing the right leg long down the mat. We'll just hang out here for a couple of breaths, with or without the supporting prop underneath the lower spine. Palms face up, relax through the arms, root the shoulder blades into the earth. Inhaling and floating, legs, arms back up into the sky for waterfall. Thumbs point back behind you, palms face inwards. Bending left knee, hugging left knee into chest, interlacing fingers along that left shin, and then maybe hugging that left knee up towards the armpit if that feels better and you have more space in the hip. Releasing that left leg, letting it go long down the mat. Legs are extended here, arms are out by your sides, palms face up. Just let everything grow heavy and melt into the mat. Bending at the knees, and with or without a prop underneath the lower back, we'll set up for bridge. So knees are bent, soles of feet are on the earth, arms are along your sides. If you're wanting to use the block, you can flip it up to the second height, so the rectangle shape, and you can place it just above the sit bones, the sacrum. You can let the arms rest along your side, palms facing up. You can hang out here in a supported bridge. If you prefer to not use the block, you can place it aside, draw the hips up, palms will face down now. If you're looking for more, you can tuck the shoulders underneath the back body, interlace the fingers. Lots of ways to add on here. You can go strong in that left leg. You can extend the right leg up into the earth. Extend the right leg up into the sky. Beautiful. Holding here, breathing, checking in with the hips, drawing them up. If the right leg was extended, releasing it back down to the earth, draw the hips back up. As long as you're breathing, feel free to play and add on here, knowing when to take rest and take a step back. If you extended your leg, you can start to float that left leg up, drawing the hips up into the sky. Strong, smooth, uncompromised breath here. Beautiful. Releasing that left leg long if it was extended. We'll draw the hips up to the sky one more time. If there's a block underneath the lower spine, you can place it aside. Otherwise, we'll release the hands, palms face down, lowering hips down. In the back, one vertebra at a time. We'll gently push the lower spine into the mat a couple of times. So if you're not sure if you're doing it, you can just reach behind the lower spine and you'll feel that space. And just pressing the lower back gently into the mat. And then we'll pick up the feet, we'll hug those bent knees into chest, and we'll rock side to side. And then when you're ready, begin to gather what you need to set up for your final rest. If you have bolsters, blankets, pillow for your head, whatever finds you in space that's most relaxing and comfortable. Setting up here, there should be no more effort, no more stretch. Allowing the body to be heavy and weighted. Legs are extended out wide, arms are extended out wide. Palms face up, take up lots of space here. Eyes are closed or a nice soft gaze. We'll begin to check in with the rest of the body. Is there any tension you can release from the forehead, in between the brows? Relaxing through the face and the jaw. Let it hang. Take the tongue down from the roof of the mouth. Let the backs of the arms grow heavy and melt into the mat. Releasing through chest and belly and hips. Let the arms and legs sink down deeply into the earth. And allow yourself to enjoy this time of stillness, to enjoy the efforts of your practice. And allow the weight of the earth to support you here as you take your final rest in Shavasana. Please feel free to enjoy your Shavasana for as long as you can. Thank you for joining me here today for a joyful flow practice through Sadhana Yoga and Sound. My name is Jill, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.